Hello friends, welcome to our channel Mechanical Motivator. In this video, we'll be seeing problems on torsional vibration of gear system. A motor drives a centrifugal pump through gearing. So the word gearing means it will be coming under the type of gear system problem. The pump speed is being 1/3 of the motor. So just imagine the speed of the motor will be NA and speed of the pump will be NB. So NB is equal to 1/3 times of NA. So once we cross multiply means we will be getting as NA divided by NB is equal to 3, which is nothing but gear ratio. The shaft from the motor to the pinion is 60 mm diameter and 300 mm long. So we know the diameter of the shaft is 60 mm. So convert to meter, and we know the length of the shaft, that is 300 mm, convert to meter. The moment of inertia of the motor is 400 kg meter square. So IA is equal to 400 kg meter square. And next thing is the impeller shaft is 100 mm diameter and 600 mm long. So diameter 2 is 100 mm, convert to meter, and length is 600 mm, convert to meter. And finally, the moment of inertia of the impeller is 1500 kg meter square. So IB is equal to 1500 kg meter square. Neglecting the inertia of the gears and the shaft. So this is a key term. So we don't need to worry about the gears and the shaft. So determine the frequency of torsional vibration of the system. So this is the predominant one which we will be determining in all the sum. The modulus of rigidity of the shaft is 80 giganewton per meter square. So C is equal to 80 giganewton per meter square. Giga means 10 power 9. So just substitute, just write all the given data from the question. So this is a gear problem, right? So we know that the first one will be representing the motor. So first one will be representing motor, and last one will be representing the impeller or the centrifugal pump. So what I have given is the shaft from the motor to the pinion is 60 mm. So motor to pinion. So this will be representing the pinion. So this is the motor. So it will be connecting by a shaft having a diameter 60 mm and length is given as 300 mm. So second thing what they have given, impeller shaft is 100 mm diameter and 600 mm long. So this is the impeller shaft. So it will be connecting between impeller and the gear wheel, and length is also given. So it's very much clear. From the given data, we can use all the data and we can draw this diagram. So as we know earlier, just whatever we followed in 2 rotor and 3 rotor, we'll be following the same concept. What I'm going to do is, this is a variable shaft diameter. So just I'm going to convert it into torsionally equivalent shaft using any one of the diameters. So I'm taking the diameter D1, that is 60 mm, as the constant diameter for through the shaft. So this is the motor. Actually here the impeller, since we have converted the variable diameter shaft and equivalent torsionally equivalent shaft, means the length will be increasing. So there will be an additional increase in length. So we're going to represent with the another additional, not additional, instead of B we'll be writing as B dash, just to differentiate it, since these two are not lying in the same line, right? So in order to differentiate, we are writing it as B dash. That's it, nothing else. So what I'm going to do is, we know that the length of the torsionally equivalent shaft is equal to L1 plus L3. L1 we know 300 and L3 is the additional length which we will be determining. So from this question, we can draw these two diagrams. Now we'll be going into the problem. So we know the mass moment of inertia of the equivalent rotor system. We're going to determine, right? So this mass moment of inertia for the impeller shaft we know, but we don't know the new B dash, that is equivalent rotor B dash we don't know. So we need to determine, right? So IB dash is equal to IB by G square. IB means the mass moment of inertia for the impeller. It's clearly given from the question, and G is the gear ratio. So just substitute all the value, you will be getting a value of 166.7 kg meter square. Now we going to determine the additional length. The additional length is actually L1, there is no issue. The issue is only in the shaft 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to determine the additional length, that is L3 is equal to L3 we're going to determine, right? So L3 is equal to, we know we got this formula from the already previously we found for torsionally equivalent shaft, right? So from there we are taking this formula, that is L2 D1 by D2 whole power 4. Extra we are putting, the G square is the only thing which we put extra, that is the gear ratio, since we use gears. So same, rest all it's same, whatever you used previously, we are using the same thing. So just substitute all the values. G value we know, L value know, D1, D2, all values we know from the given data, just substitute it, and we'll be getting as 0.7 meter or 700 millimeter. Total length of the equivalent shaft is L is equal to L1 plus L3. That is, L is the total length of the equivalent shaft. It is nothing but L1 plus L3. So that's what we wrote here. So we will be getting answer as 1000 mm. So in case of meter means 1 meter. So we now determine the length of the torsionally equivalent shaft. So now next thing is we need to determine the node, right? That is node. Since since they have asked us to neglect the gear and gears on the shaft, so no, we can convert this entire system as a two rotor system itself. So if it's a two rotor system, means we'll be getting only one node at the shaft. So at the equivalent shaft. So here is the node N, and it will be LA distance. That is, the node will be located at a distance of LA from rotor A, and LB dash from the equivalent rotor B dash. So just understand that LB dash is a new term. Since it's a rotor B dash, I'm writing it as LB dash. If it's B alone, then I'll be writing only LB. So this is what will be given here, and we know that that is, I'm just going to compare the rotor A and rotor B dash. I'm just going to compare the frequency of rotor A and rotor B dash. So what's so they have written as LAIA is equal to LB dash IB dash, since it's a equivalent rotor B dash. So we know LA actually LA is the unknown value, so just write as it is, and IA is 400. So LB dash we can write as L minus LA. That is, this LB dash we can write, this is LB dash, right? Distance between these two. So LB dash we can write as total distance is L and this distance is L1. So total distance minus this distance, total L. If I want LB dash means L minus L1. So that's what they have written here, L minus LA. So just substitute, instead of LB dash, substitute L minus LA, and IB dash we found 166.7. So L is nothing but L is the total length, right? Total length we determined as 1 meter. So they have written as, instead of this L, they have substituted 1. So in this entire thing, we only LA is unknown. So determine the LA value. So LA is equal to 0.294 meter. So once we convert, means 294 mm. So now we can determine the polar moment of inertia, right? So J formula is 5 by 32 d1 power 4. So this is the equivalent shaft diameter. So substitute 60, and you will be getting a polar moment of inertia value 1.27 10 power minus 6 meter per 4. Unit is important. So once we determine J, means it's very much easy to find the frequency of the torsional vibration. So just because torsional vibration for rotor A and rotor B dash is same, so use any one of the above. So they have used the rotor A on. So frequency is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of Cj by LAIA. So substitute all the known values and you will be getting a 4.7 Hz. An electric motor is to drive a centrifugal running at running a 4 times the motor speed through a spur gear and pinion. That is, this electric motor will be running 4 times. The centrifugal, that is, the pump will be running 4 times the motor. So NB is equal to same like the last whatever we saw last sum is similar to that. The centrifugal pump will be NB and motor will be NA. NB is equal to 4 NA. So once if just bring that 4 downwards, so NA divided by NB is equal to 1 by 4. So it's nothing but 0.25. We have got the gear ratio. The steel shaft from the motor to the gear wheel is 54 mm diameter and L meter long. Now they have not given the length of the shaft, just given us L alone. So first shaft diameter will be 54 and length will be capital L. So this is unknown. The shaft from the pinion to the centrifugal pump is 45 mm diameter and 400 mm long. So diameter 2 is 45, convert to meter, and length 2 is 400 mm, convert to meter. So they have given the mass and radius of gyration of the rod of the motor and the centrifugal respectively. So MA they have given 37 kg. So just write the value of mass A and respective value of radius of gyration, and mass B and respective value of radius of gyration. So just convert everything to meter. Neglecting the inertia effect of gears, find the value. So in this sum also, they are asking us to neglect the inertia value. Find the value of L. We need to determine the value of L. If the gears are to be at the node for torsional oscillation of the system, and hence determine the frequency of torsional oscillation, assume C value. C value they have written as 84 into 10 power 9. That is, giga means 10 power 9 Newton per meter square. So in this thing, what we're going to do is we just, similar to previous problem, and only difference is they haven't given the length value. So from the question we can write this is the motor, right? First one will be the motor and last one will be centrifugal pump. It will be connected with help of a gear and pinion. So first shaft diameter they have given, length they have not given. Second shaft diameter, length, both they are given. So this is L1 and this is L2 and this is gear and this is pinion. So exactly same problem. So what we're going to do, we're just going to convert into torsionally equivalent shaft. So we used the diameter 1 as the entire diameter for the shaft. So we can write like this, right? So this is A and this is, since we're going to convert into torsionally equivalent shaft, we won't be getting the same, we won't be getting the same distance for B dash, sorry, rotor B. So there will be an increase or decrease. So I'm writing it as B dash. In order to differentiate, I'm writing it as B dash. So this total distance, that is the distance between the first shaft, is L, because they haven't given, right? So remaining will be the L3. So consider it can be increase, it can be large or even smaller. So we'll be coming to know only at the after calculation. So just so with the help of the question, we can draw these two diagrams. I think so there won't be any confusion in drawing these two diagrams. Now we'll be moving into the sum. We know that mass moment of inertia of the motor, that is IA. Actually, we need to determine that they have just given the mass value and radius of gyration value. So I is equal to mk square. So find the mass moment of inertia for the motor using the given value as well as mass moment of inertia for the centrifugal pump. So IB. So once we determine the both value means, then next thing is actually this value is for centrifugal pump, but we need to determine for the equivalent rotor B dash, because here only centrifugal pump. In next diagram, once we convert into torsional equivalent shaft, we will be getting a different B dash value. So we need to determine with the help of the formula. IB dash is equal to IB divided by G square. IB we just now got it. G we know gear ratio. Substitute all the values. You will be getting 9.4 kg meter square. Now next thing is we need to determine the additional length. The additional length is will be lying in the shaft 2 only, right? So shaft 2 is the additional length. So G square L2 D1 by D2 whole power 4. So previously I have explained everything. So similarly, whatever we did in previous problem, we will be doing in the same thing in this problem also. GEC gear ratio, L2, D1, D2, all values are known to us. Just substituted and you will be getting as 0.0518 meter. So since LA, that is LA, see, listen, ma. So since it's a two rotor sum, since they asked us to neglect the inertia of the gears, we can neglect this. If they are asking us to consider means, then we'll be considering it and we will be solving with as a three rotor sum. So since they are asked us to neglect, so no need to worry. This is a two rotor system and we'll be getting a single node only. So just listen. So this value is unknown. This LA, that is this value LA is equal to L. Whatever value we got for LA will be the same value for L. And this is LB dash, that is nothing but the node will be, see, listen, ma, the node N will be L at a distance of LA from rotor A, and LB dash at a distance of LB dash from rotor B dash. So that's what they written. LA is equal to L and LB dash is equal to L3. So we already got a L3, right? So whatever value is L3 is same for LB dash. So LB dash is equal to L3 is equal to same value. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to compare the frequency for rotor A and rotor B dash. So LA IA is equal to LB dash IB dash. So LA value we don't know. It's the capital L we need to determine, and IA we know. LB dash we know, just now we got it, right? And IB dash we know. So in this only the length alone is unknown, and if you use calculator means we can easily calculate the length value. So length will be coming 1.3 meter. So we have determined, actually in question they will be asking us to find the value of L only. So we determined it. The next thing is we need to determine the frequency. So two things we need to determine. One is length of the shaft and second only frequency. So frequency means once if you know the J value, that is 5 by 32 D1 per 4. D1 means the diameter which we got, right? So diameter 54 mm. So that is the diameter which you use. So just substitute the value and we'll be getting a J value. So frequency for rotor A and rotor B dash is same. So they have taken the rotor A. Frequency is equal to 1 by 2 by root of CJ by LA IA. So substitute all the values, C value, no, J value, all the values you'll be knowing. So once substituting means we'll be getting a 60.4 Hz. So next will be the determine the natural frequency of torsional oscillation for the following system. The system is a reciprocating IC engine. See, listen, ma. The system is a reciprocating IC engine coupled to a centrifugal pump through a pair of gears. So the shaft from the flywheel flywheel of the engine to the gear wheel is 60 mm diameter and 950 mm long. So first diameter will be 60 mm and respective length will be 950. So the what all the data they are giving: a flywheel, a gear wheel, pinion, pump. So in this thing, I think so we need to consider the inertia of the gear and pinion, gear and shaft. I think so. So this is a bit. This is a very important problem. So just focus on it. So the shaft from the pinion to the pump is 40 mm diameter and respective length they have given. So listen, ma, the next second shaft D2 and L2 they have given. So D2 and L2 just convert everything into meter. And finally, the gear ratio they have given us, the engine speed is 1/4 of pump speed. So listen here, G is equal to 1/4. They have directly given the ratio value. So 1/4 means gear ratio is 0.25. So now what they have given is, they have given the moment of inertia, mass moment of inertia for individual flywheel, gear wheel, pinion, pump, for all the things they have given. So we need to consider the gear and the shaft. We have to consider modulus of rigidity value they have given here. So IA, for that is IA means for flywheel, for the motor it's 800, then its gear wheel is represented as 15 and pinion wheel is represented as F4, and last but not least pump. So in these things they have given all the data, just substitute, just write the given data from the problem. So here, coming back to the problem, so try to understand. Here is the engine flywheel and here is a centrifugal pump. It is locked with the help of a gear wheel and pinion, and first shaft will be connecting flywheel and the gear wheel, and second shaft will be connecting pinion and the centrifugal pump. The diameter of the shaft is 60 mm and corresponding length is given. Diameter of the second shaft and corresponding length is given. So this diagram you can clearly draw from the with the help of the question. No need to worry. And this problem, we need to consider the gears. So it's converted into 3 rotor system, that is rotor 1, rotor 2, rotor 3. So instead of gear, I'm writing as E dash, and instead of B, I'm writing as B dash. In order to differentiate, I'm writing a different term. That is the distance. Now what we're going to do, simple as that, we're going to convert the variable shaft diameter to equivalent shaft diameter. So 60 I have taken as the diameter of the entire shaft. So this length is L1, there won't be any changes. That is L1, there won't be any changes. The only changes will be coming from L3. It can be lesser or even greater depending upon the values which we get. So these two diagram, it's very much easy and we can easily draw. Now we'll move into the problem. We know the mass moment of inertia for the equivalent gearing. That is, previously we haven't used the gear, right? But in this problem we will be considering the inertia of the gears. For that we need to determine IE dash, that is mass moment of inertia for this gear, for this rotor. So IE dash is equal to IE plus IF divided by G square, that is the mass moment of inertia for the gear wheel plus mass moment of inertia for pinion divided by G square. So once we substitute all the values, you will be getting as 79 kg meter square. Now mass moment of inertia for the equivalent pump B, that is we need to determine the mass moment of inertia for B dash also, right? So similarly IB dash is equal to IB by G square. This we know already. So substitute all the values. So we will be getting as 272 kg meter square. Now we need to determine the additional length of the equivalent shaft, that is L3. This additional length we need to determine, right? So L3 is equal to G square L2 D1 by D2 whole power 4. This concept I have explained clearly in the first two problems. So same thing we're going to do it. So just substitute all the values, you will be getting 0.095 meter. Now just understand that the original system is thus reduced into 3 rotor system. This is the original system. Now this system is reduced into 3 rotor system. Now we're going to determine the position of the nodes. That is, since it's a 3 rotor system, there will be 2 nodes occurring. That is, N1 will be the node which will be at a distance of LA from rotor A, and N2 will be another node which will be at a distance of LB dash from rotor B dash. So this distance we can write as, like, try to understand that this is the distance. We can write as total is L1 and we have to subtract LA. So L1 minus LA. And if you want to know the distance here, means total distance is L3 and just I'm going to subtract LB dash. So L3 minus LB dash. So just understand, I have just identify the distance between these 2 points and these 2 points with the help of the diagram. Now, as usual, we're going to compare the rotor A and rotor B dash, I think so. Yeah, just compare the frequency of rotor A and rotor B dash. LA IA is equal to LB dash IB dash. So keep LA, this is unknown, right? Keep it in the left hand side, take everything to the right hand side. So we'll be getting a value of LA is equal to 0.34 LB dash. So just keep this as equation 1. And now next thing we're going to compare the rotor. See, listen, first time what I'm going to do, I'm just comparing rotor A and rotor B dash. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to compare this rotor E dash and rotor B dash. So see, so rotor B dash is 1 by LB dash IB dash and 1 by IE dash. Instead of writing the length for the LE dash, see, listen, length for LE dash is 1 minus LA plus L3 minus LB dash. Distance between these two is written as LE dash. So since I am writing a denominator, I am just writing 1 by L1 minus LA plus 1 by L3 minus LB dash. So now substitute all the known data. IB dash we know, IE dash we know, L1 value we know. L1 is nothing but 0.95. So substitute, and LA we know, LA is equal to 0.34 LB dash. Substitute that value. L3 value we already determined, right? L3 we know. L3 we just know we got 0.095, and LB dash is unknown. So just cross multiply and reduce the equation. On the whole, only LB dash is the unknown. So once you reduce means we'll be getting in terms of LB dash square, LB dash and constant, and we can use 2 degree formula. I mean, using the calculator we can determine the LB dash values. We will be getting 2 values in positive and negative, or else we can also use the formula. As I said earlier, we'll be getting 2 values, one for positive and one for negative. So since there are 2 values for LB dash, for LA we will be getting 2 values, that is 0.306 and 0.0068. So listen, we can say whether it is a single node or 2 node only with the help of the values of LA and LB dash. So here what is the value? 0.9 meter is the value. So listen, so LB dash is 0.9. So just imagine that it will be coming at some point here. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm just going to determine only the equivalent shaft, right? So these 2 points will be denoting the single node system, and these 2 points will be denoting the 2 node system. These things I have clearly explained in previous problem as well as in 2 rotor sum. Just have a look at it. Now we'll be moving on. So we're going to determine the frequency for single node and 2 node. So polar moment of inertia, J value mean pi by 32 D1. D1 is common. So just get the value for polar moment of inertia, J value. So natural frequency for a single node system. For a single node system means these 2 values holds good for single node system, and these 2 values holds good for 2 node system. So just substitute LA is equal to 0.306. Substituting LA 0.306, we will be getting an answer for frequency. Frequency formula you know, right? So substitute all the values and you will be getting a frequency of 3.32 for a single node system. For 2 node system means, for a 2 node system means it's 0.0068. So substitute all the values, you'll be getting a frequency of 22.3 Hz. So now we have determined the natural frequency for torsional vibration of a single node and 2 node system. So plotting the diagram, so just simple as before. So here will be a node and here will be a node, and we have determined the values, right? No need to write the values, just write LA and LB dash, and same way this will be represent LE dash. LE dash means L1 minus LA plus L3 minus LB dash. These things I have explained. No need to plot the values, just have a look at this. In case if you are having any doubts means just type in the comment section. Please do subscribe to my channel Mechanical Motivator and press the bell icon, then only you will be getting all the videos which I upload. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great time.